Eruvin Daf. Today's email comes from David Brandis from South Bend. I haven't emailed in quite a while. I want to thank you for everything you and your crew are doing throughout all the challenges that we had to face this year. We're now holding right around where I dropped off last cycle. I'm glad to say that this time around, with the shear, I'm holding much stronger with no signs of slacking off. Way to go. I enjoyed the Amaritz charts and Daf Lamed Beis and attached a t-shirt I did from MDY to add to the merch section. With your shear, may there be many more former Amaritzim wishing everyone Ksiv Chasim Toiva, David Brandis. What he's referring to is that in shear, I made a chart to explain the Gemara of Amaretz and Chaver. And the Amaretz is such Amaretz, he doesn't know how to spell his own name. He spells it with an Aleph, Amharitz. So he's saying that there should be merch that looks something like this. Former Amaritz, I love the idea, unbelievable. Says Rava, this halacha that we said in the Mishnah, that you cannot place your Eruv on a tree above 10 Tfachim, because above 10 Tfachim is Rosh Hashanah and you're standing in Rosh Hashanah. That's referring to a tree that's within the Ibur, outside of the Ibur of the city. Every city has an extension, a 70 amma and a third extension. Ibur is a lashon of pregnancy. If it's outside of the Ibur, we have a problem with. Inside the Ibur, we have a concept, says Rav, amazing, that we fill up as if the city walls are full of, let's say, dirt, and you are standing above that. You are really within the same domain as your Eruv. Now, halachically, you're not permitted to take the Eruv off the tree, which is a Rosh Hashanah. You're standing Rosh Hashanah, you can't say, well, I'm in the same domain. But in Hilchas Eruv, where you have to be in the same place as your Eruv, this will be that you're in the same place as the Eruv. Now, Rava says another halacha. Every time you're kind of shvisa, you take up residence somewhere, you get 4 amas around you. Those 4 amas extend all the way up to the sky. If so, what's the problem if the Eruv is above 10 tfachim? It's within your little box that Rava gave you. The answer is you're right. In that situation, you would be within your Eruv shvisa. However, over here we're talking about that a branch extends past your box, outside of your box, past the Dalet Amas. Not only that, it takes a really sharp 90-degree turn angle upwards, and you place the Eruv on top. Not only that, we must be talking about a branch that people like to use to rearrange their knapsacks and their luggage, etc. Why? Because otherwise, this individual could access his Eruv, not by taking it from the Rosh Hashanah and bringing it down, rather of taking it from the Rosh Hashanah, moving it over to the trunk of the tree. In this case, he cannot move it over to the trunk of the tree, because he'll be moving it over a Rosh Hashanah because people are using that branch. And the halacha is, as we learned in Masechet Shabbos, you cannot move an item from a Rosh Hashanah to another Rosh Hashanah if you're going to go above a Rosh Hashanah, like the Agalos in the Midbar. You went from one Agalo Rosh Hashanah to another Agalo Rosh Hashanah over Rosh Hashanah. That's a problem. In the Brisa it says that if you place your Eruv below 10 Tfachim, according to Chachamim, it's not an Eruv. Why? Because according to Chachamim, we are concerned that you're not allowed to use a tree on Shabbos. Now, even though we're talking about Ben Hashmoshes, but Chachamim hold that even Issur D'Rabbanan is also to do Ben Hashmoshes. If the branch of the tree is within 3 Tvachim of the ground, it's as if it's part of the ground, and it's mutter. Very interesting case. What if you take your Eruv, you put it into a basket, and you hang your basket on a tree that has 4 Tvachim top? In other words, you're putting it on a place that's 4 tfachim. It's not an Eruv. Why? Because the basket is an extension to the Rosh Hashanah. It's like the holes, the Chayr Rosh Hashanah, and it's not a good Eruv. What if the top of the tree doesn't have 4 tfachim, but together with your basket you have 4 tfachim? Now what you have to do is chaykikim. You must carve out the tree. Why? Because the platform of the Rosh Hashanah is the bottom of the basket. And the bottom of the basket doesn't add up to the top of the tree. So we have to chop off the top of the tree that the tree goes downwards and matches the platform of the basket, and like that you have 4 tfachim. That's called chaykikim, carving. That's halacha that Reb Meir says, and Rebbe is going to have to hold like Reb Meir. He also holds like Rabbi Yehuda that you need a platform of 4 tfachim. Those 2 halachas together, you have the shita that it's okay. The reason why the tree itself is not a Rosh Hashanah is because on the bottom you don't have 4 tfachim. And you don't say good aches, that the top goes all the way down, the walls go down, because over here we have to take 2 halachas, chaykikim and good aches. That we don't do to make an imaginary rishus. Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Yehuda says that if you take a pole and you stick it in Rosh Hashanah and you put a basket on top of it, and you threw something on top of the basket, landed on the basket, you're chayiv. We're talking about, says the Gemara, the basket was upside down, so it has walls extending downwards, and then we say good aches. The mechitza, we imagine the mechitzas go down, and we have a rishus hayachid. According to Rabbi Yirmiyah, the pshat in the Gemara is this basket is on a tree that's 4 tfachim. The reason why I could use this tree is because I could be night to the basket. I can move the basket on its hinge downwards, away from the rishus hayachid towards the rishus harabim, and then I could get the bread. If a person takes a pole, he puts it in rishus harabim, and he put the eruv on top of it. If it's 10 tfachim high, this pole, you must have a 4 tfachim platform on top in order for the eruv to be a good eruv. And then you have the shvisa in rishus hayachid, and you're permitted to take it off the tree during ben hashamash, so it's not a problem. Now, if it's not 4 tfachim, according to Rabbi Yehuda, it's as if it's in mid-air, it's munach ba'aver, and it's not a good eruv. But if it's less than 10 tfachim, you don't need a platform of 4 tfachim. Why? Because now it's in rishus harabim, and the individual is in rishus harabim, and in the same rishus, and therefore it's a proper eruv. Have a wonderful day.